I'm so sticky right now. It's been about 3 months since I've been in Thailand, and I thought that I would do a little update video about what the hell I've been up to these last few months and what life has been like for me so far in the Peace Corps, because it's been crazy. It's been so unlike anything I've ever experienced. Thinking back, I left just a couple days after New Year's. I had a great New Year's, and then I had to pack, and then I left on January 4th for LA. Staging was happening in LA, and I was flying from Portland. And even that was kind of crazy because there was a medical emergency on my flight. Some woman 2 rows behind me passed out, and I'm like, girl, I'm in that same boat with you. I was in the middle of writing thank you cards, and it all felt really surreal. I did make it to LA, where I was meeting up with a couple other Peace Corps volunteers, so I was meeting them for the first time. I get to the airport and I get my first piece of luggage just fine, and then I'm waiting for all the luggage to go around the carousel, and my second piece of luggage is just nowhere to be seen. My luggage was lost. I did make it to staging. I was kind of in a hectic headspace then because of course, my luggage was gone with all of my clothes in there. So I was kind of internally freaking out, but I tried my best to keep it cool. When I got to the hotel, we were starting to do orientation, so we were going over reasons why we were here, how we were feeling. I mean, you feel so many emotions at that time and throughout PST or pre-service training. After staging, I went back to my room to just decompress and take everything in. I called Delta to see if they had located my luggage, and of course they didn't know where it was, so I just tried to stay calm. I took a shower. I may have cried in the shower, which is just sad, and then I watched some CNN because I enjoy watching the news. The next day we were going to fly, or I should say the next morning we were going to fly from LA to Seoul, so we had to get up really early. I think we woke up around 5 in the morning. Luckily I sleep really well. We took a bus from the hotel to LAX, and I was going to just try and see if my luggage ended up anywhere. And I was wearing my most uncomfortable, like, professional looking shoes. So I was literally running around the airport looking for my luggage. First I ran back to the Delta desk and I asked them, and then they said that, oh, it looks like it may have ended up over here. So I ran to American Airlines, and lo and behold, there it was. It was my luggage somehow ended up in lost luggage land. I didn't know this, but they have a room for all this lost luggage. And my luggage was just sitting here amongst a sea of other luggage, and it just made me think, what happened to these people's luggage? I mean, they didn't call me. A lot of these luggage bags probably had tags like mine did, but they don't call. Anyway, I did get my luggage back, so that was a relief because I would now have some clothes to wear. But the drama didn't stop there. My sister ended up calling me and telling me some interesting news about my family, which was probably not the best timing on her part, but I just found out that at 24 years old, I'm about to be a big sister. So my dad's having a baby, which is exciting now, and I'm happy for him now, but it was just kind of a shock. So when we got to the hotel, we did all sorts of stuff. We started language training, we went over health issues, we got our cell phone, we were prepping for moving into our homestay, we learned how to dress professionally in Thailand, so it was a ton of stuff. And then on that Sunday, we prepared for moving into our homestay family. We were with our homestay family for that about 2.5 months. So in that 2.5 months, we were still doing training. Training's pretty intense. You have about 4 to 5 hours of language every single day, because in order to be effective here, you need to be able to speak the language at least a little bit. So your days are pretty full. You have language training, you have technical training. We go over what our role is. So I'm a youth and development volunteer. So that means I primarily teach life skills, health, English, that kind of thing to Thai youth. So at the end of training, you get tested on what you know, and you can't really fail. The LPI is the acronym for it. You can't fail it, but they want you to score, have a decent score. There was like a minimum score for volunteers to score into. And I think my Thai is pretty decent. It's hard to learn a new language, but it's kind of fun too. There's definitely some frustrating moments though when you are thinking you're saying something right and the person's just not understanding you. And I remember one day, this was a glorious day. I got a menu, and what I ordered from the menu was, and what I said was actually what I got. And I thought to myself, I might survive here. I might be okay here in Thailand. Pad See Ew has definitely been my go-to. That seems to be an order that people can't mess up. But then sometimes I'll say I don't want any meat with it, and I still get meat anyway. So I think it's harder if you're a vegetarian here, for sure. They say on the Peace Corps website that they're pretty accommodating to the vegetarians, but just like being in the States, meat is in everything. It's hard unless you're in a big city. Meat's just ingrained into the food. And I've been eating meat here. I'm not a vegetarian. I like to eat more of a vegetable diet, but I'm not going to be too picky. Sometimes I think back to where my life was a year ago, and it's just so weird to think about. I was still in school and just kind of dicking around, having a good time. But here I am now, living in Thailand, about to be an older sister. So now I am in sight, and it's been great. I mean, the first few nights were really hard. I've been sick a lot since I've been here, like sicker than I've ever been in my entire life. They weren't kidding about that with the Peace Corps when they say you'll probably get sick, but then there's some people who haven't gotten sick at all, and they're doing just fine. Yes?
เปิดผ้าหน่อย
Huh?
เปิดผ้าหน่อย ไปเล่นน้ำไหม
Okay, Len.
Okay.
Prom? I'll get ready. Okay.
Okay.
Sip na tea.
Okay ค่ะ
Okay, there's kids coming to my window, so I'll have to talk about this later. BRB.